Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dumb Jocks podcast. I am joined by my two co-hosts, Michael and Michael. Today we will be going over...
We are joined by John.
Shut up. Today we will be going over some divisions in the NFL, talking about what we see for records, how we see the playoffs possibly shaping. We're getting into it all because Thursday night is football season. Gentlemen,
Are you already off the high from football?
Gentlemen, how are we feeling? Absolutely. I'm off that good.
I feel like fucking Wednesday and
Football
Thursday have been the two longest days of my fucking year.
I'm great. That's the best weekend I had in months.
Fuck yeah.
The Martian has landed.
Can I just say one thing real quick? When in doubt, trust in prime, baby. Colorado upsets TCU. Travis Hunter, baby. And Clemson sucks. How do you lose to Duke at a sport that they're not even fucking good at?
Yeah, no,
his nickname's the Martian.
That's like
Can
Duke's
I say it at
biggest
least one
win.
time?
You may.
Houston, we have a problem.
Bingo, baby. All right. Let's get into
All
it.
right, let's do this.
God, I'm hyped, dude.
Where we starting, boys?
Let's
start?
start with your Seahawks.
All right, we're starting off in the beautiful NFC West. Who would like? I want to go last because my team's in this division.
All right, I will start. Are we starting from the top or the bottom?
Let's just start from the bottom. Get these fucking shitters out of the way.
I have the Cardinals 1-16, going 1-5 in the division. I don't know if that needs
Oh,
explanation.
who'd they beat, dude?
I don't actually remember.
It's definitely the Rams.
I think I have them splitting with the Rams. I have the Rams at 4-13. I have the Seahawks at 11-6, and then I have the 49ers at 14-3.
I'm off by one on all of yours.
That is a W. That is
I'm
a W.
0-17 Cardinals, 3-14 Rams, 10-7 Seahawks, and 13-4 49ers.
You are a disrespectful little fucker. Let me tell you. Let me tell you the real standings. All right. We got the Cardinals 0-17. Welcome Caleb Williams. Get him into the sweepstakes.
He's NIL money now. He may not go there.
3-14 for the Rams. Fuck Matthew Stafford. Aaron Donald won't be there by week 6. Seattle 13-4. 5-1 in the division. But sadly, that's only good enough for second place in this division because we got the 49ers 14-3. 5-1 in the division. By the way, the only losses that the Niners and Seahawks have in the division is to each other. So, what do we want to talk about in this division? Let's just talk about the two teams at the top because the two teams at the bottom fucking suck.
I think the 49ers are probably the second best roster in the NFC behind the Eagles right now.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah, that quarterback situation is looking real dicey, let me tell you.
I will say.
But I will agree.
I will
agree. I will not let my bias cloud me. I will not let it happen. San Francisco is still a better team than Seattle.
They just need to figure out that quarterback.
That's all they need to figure out because defensively, I mean, that's arguably the best defense in football. If we run down every defense, I'm sure we can find maybe one or two better.
But they probably have the most names, most play, like
Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Is
Von Hargrave.
Is Eric Armstead still there?
I don't believe so. I think he
left. I have no fucking idea.
I know they had the best defensive line and then added Javon Hargrave.
All I know is they've got one guy, whatever his name is, Ufunga, whatever that fucking guy's name.
Talanoa Hufanga.
That is the fucking.
He is the best name in the league.
That is the GOAT right there.
He's the best name in the league.
Well, he's gonna have the second coolest name in the league when Kool-Aid McKinstry gets drafted next year. But yeah, San Francisco. I think we can agree, probably the best team in this division. But I wouldn't say by very much because I think as good as one team is defensively, I think this other team, my Seahawks, are just as good, if not better, offensively. Because we got that three-headed monster at receiver, man. DK, Tyler
I will
Lockett,
say, we also got to
Jackson
keep
Smith
in mind,
Jigba.
every 2 or 3 years, the 49ers have everybody get injured, and I don't wish this, but we are due.
It may happen, and if it does, listen, I'm going to look in the camera when I say this. I don't want this to happen, but if it does, you bet your fucking ass I'll be cheering every goddamn week for the Niners to lose. You can bet your ass on it. But, for Seattle, I think it honestly just comes down to if the offense can keep the pace that it had in the beginning of last year, because as we saw, kind of fell off towards the end of last year into the playoffs. But at the first half of the season, if they can keep that offensive level consistently throughout the year, I think 13 games is not unreasonable. And then defensively, I mean, once again, stop the fucking run. Please. I'm begging you. Because if I have to watch Josh Jacobs or Christian McCaffrey or somebody rush for 200 yards on us again, I'm going to lose my mind.
James Conner. Give the Cardinals something.
I will give the Cardinals something. That's why I gave him Caleb Williams next year. I gave him something. Well, that's if this other team in another division doesn't beat them to it. But
All right, let's
anything
go to
else? Anything else on this division? Or we good?
I just believe in the Seahawks coach.
Real quick,
That's
where
what
will
I'm
Aaron Donald be traded midway through the season? for next year?
Philadelphia.
midway through the season,
Or just at some point this season, because we know he's going to get moved.
Or Baltimore.
dude, it's hard to move a player like that in fucking
No, it's not.
NFL.
No, it's not.
season. It's
No, it's
not
not.
anymore. It used
You
to
just
be
ask for a
harder.
couple of first-round picks, maybe a player, get him the fuck out of here.
I don't know if he fetches
I think
2
it
first-round
depends
picks
on
at this
who.
point.
I think it depends on.
He's
who's
Aaron
where.
Donald. Just off name value alone, he's a minimum 2 first rounds.
Yeah,
But
but see, I think that's the problem. You debate you have.
Hold on. It's a guy that retirement rumors have circulated around for 2 off
That is
seasons.
true. That is true.
I think
But
if you
I
had,
think if you're a
if you had
playoff
the
contending
Chiefs,
team,
I think if the Chiefs got him and Aaron Donald said, "I'll give you a year and a half," I think the Chiefs would give him a first-round pick.
I think Baltimore, same thing. If Baltimore thinks that their window to, I think for any, I don't see him going to a bottom feeding team. I see him going to a contender. I don't think Cincinnati is out of the question for this either. I don't think it's crazy to say Cincinnati. I don't think Baltimore's crazy. You mentioned Philly already.
Detroit.
See, I don't see Detroit. I would love to see him in Jacksonville. I'm not going to lie to you. I would love to.
Yeah.
Just because of Saxonville, you know the thing. But my prediction is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. I think he ends up in Baltimore. And I think he makes that defense one scary defense.
Or the Chargers. Him and Nick Bosa would be quite a scary duo.
Honestly, if you look at whoever you
No,
pair
they
him-
wouldn't trade it. They wouldn't trade him, so he's playing in the same stadium. Though. They wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't. I mean, the reason why I don't put the Niners or Seahawks on that list is because there's absolutely no way Aaron Donald gets traded in the division to a contender.
No.
Because if not, you already know who I'd be saying. You already know. I'd give you. What would I give? I'd give you Zach Charbonnet, a first-round pick, if we even have one. I'll give you Drew Lock. You can have him. Kobe Bryant, you can have him too. There you go. 3 players in a draft pick. Take it.
All right, AFC West. Mike, you start this one.
Start this one. The
Get it.
2-15 Raiders.
Yeah, shit.
The
Here we go.
3-14 Broncos. The 10-7 Chargers. And the 13-4 Chiefs.
Oh, would you like me to go next?
I don't care.
All right.
Yeah, I don't.
The second team that will be joining the Cardinals in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, the 0-17 Oakland Raiders. Fuck Josh McDaniel. Fuck Jimmy
It is the
Garoppolo.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, sorry. Next up, we have my
They pushed all their
ex-quarterback.
chips in and they lost.
My ex-quarterback, the 3-14 Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson will not be a starting quarterback in the NFL next year. Mark my words. I got the Chargers at 11-6.
I tried to warn you.
Hey.
I tried to warn you.
You don't have to warn me anymore.
tried
My
to
eyes are
warn you.
open now, buddy.
I
I've
tried to warn you.
got the Chargers at 11-6, and I have the Chiefs going 16-1. I genuinely don't think there's a team because I've seen Patrick Mahomes do unbelievable things. I don't think 16-1's out of the question.
I have the Raiders at 3-14, the Broncos at 4-13, the Chargers, the 5 seed at 12-5, and the Chiefs, the 1 seed at 15-2. I don't know that anything there needs a whole lot of explanation.
Yeah, I mean, we know the Broncos are going to suck. We know the Raiders are going to suck. I'll be honest.
I got a question. You mentioned Aaron Donald being traded. Russell Wilson being benched before or after Halloween.
Who's their backup?
Jarrett Stidham.
I say after, simply because I think a lot of people have confidence in Sean Payton, but
I have confidence in Sean Payton.
Payton's not God. He can't he can't turn water into wine.
Can't do a Pete
Or
Carroll.
supposedly he's not Pete Carroll.
He's not. Let's just get it out of the way because last time I checked,
Pete Carroll.
last time I checked, Pete Carroll just turned Geno Smith into the comeback player of the year. I ain't seen fucking Sean Payton do that shit with
Geno
James
Smith
Winston.
was like the first round
Drew Brees
quarterback
into
he
a
was supposed to
comeback
be
player, yeah.
fucking a decade ago.
Motherfucker, it's Drew Brees against Geno Smith. Come on. But I think the only interesting team that has any real questions around it, I think, is the Chargers. We know what happened to end their season last year, blowing a massive lead to Jacksonville in that divisional or wild card or divisional game. Divisional game. A lot of pressure, in my opinion, is on Justin Herbert this year. You got to win a playoff game.
I disagree.
And let me tell you.
I agree with what you're saying. I think the public perception, though, is it's going to go to Brandon Staley.
That's what I was
He's gonna
just
be the
about to
guy under
mention.
pressure.
because they got rid of your offensive coordinator. They gave you Kellen Moore, which I think Kellen Moore is going to draw up some crazy shit for that.
I would not be
offense.
shocked if Kellen Moore is the head coach of the Chargers next season.
I would not be shocked either, because remember, you and me were advocating for Sean Payton for this job.
I was thinking Sean Payton wasn't going to take a job, and he was going to wait for next year for either the Chargers or maybe the Bills' job to open.
I honestly would love to see him with the Ravens, but hey, that was just me.
John Harbaugh's not getting fired.
I know.
Sorry.
Well,
He's accomplished too much.
hey, we'll talk about them. I don't know if we'll get to them today, but they got some fucking expectations. But yeah, I think with the Chargers, like you said, I think most of the blame for an unsuccessful season will go to Brandon Staley, and I think most of the praise for a successful season will go to Justin Herbert.
Yes.
I think you look at defensively. I think Khalil Mack is still there. Nick Bosa is still there.
Bosa.
Joey Bosa is still there. Still have Derwin James, who God, please stay healthy.
J.C. Jackson, you want him to get back out there?
He's still there.
Yes.
That guy was a Bill Belichick merchant. We're going to have a real conversation about Bill Belichick and these cornerbacks, because it seems all these Patriot cornerbacks, besides Stephon Gilmore, can only play for Bill Belichick. They go somewhere else and they suck.
It's just how he does
And
it.
he's about to turn Christian Gonzalez into a fucking all-pro, let me tell you.
I saw that pick happen, and I was like,
I was like, all right, all-pro.
It was like when the Chiefs picked Mecole Hardman a few years ago, even though that didn't work out. It was like, how the hell did we let this happen?
You know what else we shouldn't have let happen? We'll talk to it if we talk about the NFC East. But there's some fucking debauchery going on in Philadelphia.
Yeah, how the fuck did
How did they get Jalen Carter?
and Nolan Smith, Detroit? You could have had that draft.
You're worried
You
about.
could have.
Hey, I don't care about Nolan Smith. They got Jalen Carter, who is tossing around Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey like they're children.
Philadelphia's backup defensive line could start for about 25 other teams.
I would say pretty much every team. Are we done with these two divisions?
I'm done. Yeah.
Where are we going to next?
Which
Mike.
one you want to go to?
Mike, pick a division.
Pick a division, Mike.
North.
Which one?
Which one?
AFC first.
All right.
All right. We'll
This-
say
this-
we'll say
this is
you
my
for
team,
last.
so
We'll
I'll
save
go
you for-
last.
Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go
I
first.
was gonna say I haven't gone first yet, but you can go. All right, let's get.
I'm just laughing.
Let's cook. Let him
All
cook.
right, dude. 7-10 Browns.
All right.
11-6 Steelers. 11-6 Ravens. 15-2 Bengals.
All right. I got the 8-9 Browns, the 10-7 Steelers, the 13-4 Bengals, and the 16-1 Ravens.
I have the 8-9 Browns, the 11-6 Ravens, who actually missed the playoffs. I'm not sure what the tiebreakers are this game goes through.
Fair enough.
The 6-seeded Steelers at 11-6, and the 2-seeded Bengals 14-3.
My
I want you to look me in the eye and tell me there's
tiebreakers
no
were
bias
switched.
at all in that Steelers pick.
I'm reading it to you.
Okay, fair enough.
My Steel. So, like, you know how you were just saying the division, they're like tiebreaker wise?
I have 3 teams at 11-6, so I'm not sure how it
Yeah,
determines
no,
the
I am.
tiebreakers.
I'm just really,
I
really
got
high
4.
on the Ravens. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I just
All
want
right.
to say, look at mine.
Where
Okay,
do we-
So I have the Steelers get pushed down, the Ravens make it in mine at 11-6.
All right, where do we want to
I
start?
just think it's funny. That
Where do we
how
want
you
to
said
start in this division? Do we want to start with Mr. Touch My Body down in Cleveland?
No.
We don't want to talk about him.
If Joe Burrow misses significant time, in significant time, I'm saying 6 or more games.
I doubt it, but hypothetically, we'll continue.
I feel you. Like, I think
Okay.
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
How
but I
much
don't
does that
think he
change
will.
the picture of not just the division, but the conference?
I think it changes it very drastically because I think that moves Cincinnati from a top 2-3 seed to possibly not even a wild card team. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't think they're better than Pittsburgh if they lose Joe Burrow. I don't think they are. And then if you compare them to other teams in the AFC, they're not better than the Chargers if they lose Burrow. They're not better than the Dolphins if they lose Burrow. They're not better than the Bills. They're not better than the Jags. So that's 4 teams there. Of course, they're not better than the Chiefs. I don't think they'd be better than the Jets or the Ravens. So that's 7 right there. How many teams made the playoffs? 8?
7.
7? So there you go. They're no longer a playoff team in that case. But I mean, with a talent of Burrow's, with
They
someone
don't
of
have an
Burrow's
easy-
talent,
They don't have an easy stretch to like.
hey, I don't want
be
to talk.
okay with it.
I don't want to talk about easy stretches because we didn't mention it in the NFC West. But real quick, I want to touch on it. There's a 4-week stretch where Seattle plays San Francisco twice, Dallas, and the Eagles. I'm saying 2-2.
Well, you got one easy game in that stretch.
I'm saying 2-2. I say we split with the Niners, we lose to the Eagles, we beat the Cowboys.
Why don't you just win all 4?
Because you know how us and the Niners
I
work.
know.
You know. Best case scenario, 3-1. Worst case scenario, 2-2. Well, absolute worst case scenario is 0-4.
I think if Burrows goes down for 6 games,
They-
that's 4 extra losses.
I was gonna say that moves them from what 13-4
makes it like
to
a 10-9.
it makes them like a 9-win team.
Yeah.
I
That's the
want
only
to
thing I have.
I want to touch on the Steelers
I actually want. Okay, go ahead.
because I've heard a lot of hype around Mr. Small Hands over there, Mr. Kenneth Pickett. I've heard a lot about him and his
hands.
I've heard a lot about him and his partner, NBA YoungBoy, also known as George Pickens. Heard they've got a little nice duo over there.
Yeah.
I've also heard that George Pickens' 50-50 balls are not called 50-50. They're called 90-10 balls because he catches almost all of them.
I saw he called them 80-20. So
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know
that's-
who took that out of context.
That's fair enough. But hey, 80-20 is way better than
That's
50-50.
better, yeah.
Mike, what do you think of your Steelers? What do you think is the bright spots? What do you think are the low lights?
Well, the bright spots is definitely George Pickens. Kenny Pickett looked great in the preseason.
That boy Darnell Washington's over there.
Yeah, I mean, injury concerns with him. There's a reason he was there in the 3rd round. But
Hmm.
if he can stay healthy, the pass rush is always great. I am still concerned about secondary depth. Joey Porter looks great. Patrick Peterson is a 1-year Band-Aid best case scenario.
Mhm.
Shannon Sullivan was terrible last year for the Vikings, so we'll see if they can tap into something. Corey Trice is on IR. He was their 7th round pick who was, supposedly having a great camp. I don't know. I wasn't
Still
there.
got Minka back there.
That they have Minka, that is true.
And, I mean, at the end of the day, your pass rush is always going to be good. Still got Cam Hayward and
Yeah.
Mr. Watt over there.
And Alex Highsmith is somehow their 4th best.
Hey. As we were talking about earlier,
And
with
also, this is the best offensive line they've had in 3 or 4 years.
and Najee Harris is finally not going to get pummeled in the backfield every time he gets his snap. Kenny Pickett might have time to breathe back there and actually find George Pickens. And who are their other receivers? They have
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson.
I don't know
heard-
if you've seen this stat. He had 86 catches last year, 0 touchdowns.
Well, yeah, most of the touchdowns were going to Pickens.
Yeah.
They were either going to Pickens
Which
or
is
they were just
he has the
force-feeding
NFL
Najee.
record for most catches in a season without a touchdown. So
We're going to have to
we gotta
change
get
that.
him, we got to get him. We got to get him like 7 or 8 this year.
We
just
got
to
to
make up.
we got to find my boy in the end zone.
Yeah. And Pat Fryermuth obviously
Hey.
is maybe the most underrated tight end.
What a last name. That's a
Fryermuth.
Fryermuth. I want to touch on the team that I have winning this division, which would be the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson gets back to MVP form this year. I think if he stays healthy, I think there's no question between the 3 of us that he can definitely be an MVP candidate. I will say there is a lot of pressure on this team this year because there is no longer the excuse of the weapons are not there. I understand Odell Beckham might not be the Odell we saw last time, but last time we did see him, he was on his way to winning Super Bowl MVP. You still have Mark Andrews there. Pretty sure Hollywood Brown is there now.
Nope.
Or no, that was 2 years ago, whatever. They drafted Zay Flowers. I've heard he's also been having a very good camp. Hopefully J.K. Dobbins can stay some sort of healthy this year. Hopefully the offensive line can kind of stay healthy. But Lamar Jackson has weapons. I've said, how I feel.
Devin Duvernay was a 3rd round receiver they took in 2019. I absolutely loved the
And
pick.
Rashad Bateman is also
And Rashad
healthy.
Bateman. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I think he's missed both of his first 2 years.
So you're
injuries.
looking at this team and you're reading off those weapons, and it's Lamar's got to put up some numbers this year. But the most important thing with Lamar is he has to stay healthy.
Which QB? This is a little bit of a tangent. Which QB is under more pressure to win a playoff game? Jackson or Josh Allen?
Jackson.
See, I
Allen
think
needs
it's
a Super Bowl. He's won playoff games. He needs a Super Bowl.
how many
Jackson,
playoff games does he have?
2, 3.
So
I
he
think
has
3.
he has
'Cause he's been to
two,
a title
he has,
game.
He has 2 more than Lamar Jackson has. And Lamar Jackson's also missed 2.
Lamar
playoffs.
needs to be able to win a playoff game to prove he can win a playoff
Well,
game.
he's
in
already
that
won a playoff
style.
game.
Lamar?
He has a playoff game win. He has 1 game. Yeah, he's won 1 playoff game. He's 1 and 2 in the playoffs, I think.
I feel like that was the.
I'm almost positive he has 1 playoff win.
Find it out. I don't doubt it.
You can-
Wasn't
don't-
it first? That was when
I forgot who was, but I know he has 1 playoff win.
No, I'm picturing the shitty team that they played. Like I'm remembering it was someone.
Lamar Jackson is 1-3 in the playoffs.
Okay. So
So he beat the team when they weren't even the 1 seed. Were they the 1 seed when they beat him?
I'm gonna say
I don't think he made it to the thing.
Josh Allen is 4-4 in the playoffs. I was wrong.
Here's what I'm gonna say, just to be a little devil's advocate. I'm gonna say Josh Allen because everything besides playoff wise, Lamar Jackson's done it. Lamar Jackson's won an MVP. He's been arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. We know this when he's healthy. Josh Allen, even when healthy, has proven that if Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes stands in front of him, he cannot beat them. So until he does that, I think he's under pressure because I don't care if you beat Skylar Thompson. I don't care if you beat, I don't know, Mac Jones. If you're not beating Burrow and Mahomes, I don't care. It's the same thing for Lamar. If you're not beating Burrow, Mahomes, guys like that, I don't care who you're beating.
All right, I'm gonna throw this out there. Let's say this year he sweeps Aaron Rodgers, loses to Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Nope, you still have to beat Mahomes or Burrow.
Okay.
That's just how I'm looking at it because I hold Josh Allen to this high expectation. I think he's arguably the third best quarterback in the NFL. If you want to jump those other two guys, you got to beat those other two guys. I think with Lamar Jackson, I got to see him beat Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence before he gets even close to Allen or Burrow. But I will say, if Lamar Jackson happens to face Josh Allen in these playoffs and Lamar Jackson beats Josh Allen, I'm putting Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen. I hope you know this. I'm just making the statement there. But yeah, I think it's under Josh Allen because I've said for a couple years, I think Allen's had more talent. And he just, besides that one game against Kansas City, he hasn't particularly looked great in the playoffs.
No.
Especially against top-tier competition. I mean, we saw how he looked last year against Cincinnati. He did not look great in a game that, they say the Buffalo weather is supposed to favor Buffalo. Didn't look like it did in that game. And, I mean, your last playoff win was you beat your last 2 playoff wins were you beat Skylar Thompson, who, if Tua plays, you lose to Miami, and you beat Mac Jones. Congratulations.
Didn't they beat somebody else after Mac? Or was that lost in the division round?
That was another loss in the division round because I think they lost to Kansas City.
Okay. Because I know he beat Tannehill to get to the title game a few years ago. I was off by a year.
I do want to hear it because I don't think you guys got your reasonings on why it's Lamar, if is Lamar for you guys, but
I think they both have to prove it to me.
Yeah, that's where I think it comes down to is I think they both have to prove it at this point because they're both top talented quarterbacks. But this goes back to what I've talked about at least a bunch of times with these quarterbacks. The only 2 quarterbacks that are proven to do anything in the AFC, in the AFC, I'm not counting Aaron Rodgers in that. But the only 2 quarterbacks who have proven to do anything are Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Besides that, all of these guys are unproven. Herbert's unproven. Allen's unproven. Jackson's unproven. All of these guys have something to prove with however many wins they have.
Oh, you did leave one out. That's Nick Foles.
I did.
I just think,
even Trevor Lawrence has to prove something, and he won a playoff game last year.
And I get what you're saying. I just also think it's going to be hard for these people to prove this to you. They have to get through Mahomes or Burrows automatically.
Well, see, for Lamar and Allen, they just have to get through each other first.
Yeah, no,
and Herbert and Lawrence. I think there's tiers of who you have to beat.
You just also I'm taking seeding into consideration. Yeah. So let's say Kansas City number 1. Then you got your other division winners. Then it's wild card. So for the matchups, it gets kind of crazy.
I will say if Lamar goes out and beats Patrick Mahomes, I have Baltimore being the number 1 seed in the
No, I know. I
also think it's interesting. Baltimore switching to a more not pass heavy, but a pass first offense.
I'm excited to see
this. Is that going to
take
a little bit to catch on really in that offense with a QB that has not had a run first offense in his career? That's not a criticism. That's a fact.
In college, he was a pass first offense.
I mean, yes, but in college is more who has the better athletes is going to win.
I understand, but they mentioned I heard some of this being talked about on social media and stuff like that. A lot of people are saying it's not going to take much time to adjust to because if you did watch Lamar Jackson at Louisville, this offense that they are building in Baltimore is very reminiscent of that Louisville offense, where I don't think they're going to be this deep passing team. I think it's just going to be a lot of quick stuff to these receivers and let these guys work in the
and the group of skill sets you have here. We talked about Duvernay, Beckham, Bateman. You're better off making Flowers.
You're better just getting the ball into these guys' hands and letting them go.
Slants and letting them go.
Because at the end of the day, I think why this Ravens offense is going to succeed is you're giving a tremendous world-class athlete even more space to work with than he's ever had in his NFL career. He's going to have what I hope Justin Fields gets in Chicago in a couple years, which is he's just going to have more space to operate. It's not going to be, oh, well, we're expecting the run because we know you have no receivers. And if you look at Baltimore's offense in the past, with all the injuries, it's really Mark Andrews is your only receiving threat. You take away Mark Andrews, it's basically Lamar Jackson has to beat you with his legs now, which we've seen him do plenty of times. I think this year you're going to see Lamar definitely be a better passer. And I think he's honestly going to beat more teams with his arm than he's going to have to with his legs. I think his legs are almost going to become secondary to what we see to what his arm can be this year. Anything else? No. All right, cool.
Let's go to the less exciting North Division.
This division, you call it least exciting. I call it very interesting.
I said less exciting of the Norths.
Oh, yeah, fair. I call it very interesting. I'll go first with this one because I got some hot takes. In last place, I have the 6-11 Detroit Lions. In third place, I have the 7-9 Green Bay Packers, led by none other than Jordan Love. Second place, 10-7 Chicago Bears, tied with the same record as the number one team, the 10-7 Minnesota Vikings.
All right, I got the 8-9 Green Bay Packers.
That's your last place.
That's
team?
my
That's your
last place team.
Oh shit!
Okay.
9-7 Chicago Bears. 11-6 Minnesota Vikings. 13-4 Detroit Lions.
Oh, don't get fooled.
I have the
yeah, I don't know how I came up with it, but it's what I
have the 6-11 Packers, the 7-10 Bears, the 9-8 Vikings as the 6th seed, and the 10-7 Lions.
I need to hear the reasons why we're so high on the Lions. I'm curious because personally, from watching them last year and even seeing what they even added this year, I don't see it. I see one receiving threat. I see a great athlete in the backfield, and then I see a bunch of mid everywhere else.
I just see a team that's willing to play for their coach and wants to get a job done, and he got him to buy in last year, and I think he has the team where he wants him. He has the team believing in him, and I think that gives him enough to play out there and go. I know you look more at a roster and look at talent. That's not what I'm looking at the Detroit Lions. I have a coach who has men willing to follow him and lead him into war.
Now I have a question, though, with that.
Okay.
Do you feel that exact same way about the New York Giants?
Yes.
No.
Why don't you feel that way about the Giants?
I don't like their coach.
But Brian Dable is a better coach, in my opinion, than
I don't like
Campbell.
Brian Dable.
Okay,
Dan Campbell, I don't think I'm not telling you Dan Campbell's this great mind or anything. I just think he's the guy you're willing to go. He just has people ready to follow him into war, man.
Like, what is your reasoning behind this Lions team?
I think it's a Lions team. They don't have any great strengths, I will grant you. But I think they did a lot to shore up the defense. They brought in Brian Branch. We'll see how quickly he can catch on. A young corner is always a tough gamble. Kella Witherspoon they brought in from Pittsburgh. Cam Sutton they brought in. So I don't think the secondary is going to be as much of a weakness.
Still have no pass rush besides Aiden Hutchinson. They have no pass rush.
I mean, until they get Aaron Donald in Week 7.
Yeah, fair enough. They have no pass rush, and they also have no linebackers.
They took
didn't they draft
Jack Campbell in the first?
Jack Campbell, but that's a rookie playing your starting linebacker. I think
it's a well-rounded team, and I think Ben Johnson, who's going to be head coach next year, last year did something that Sean McVay had done. He didn't do it as well as McVay. He made it so Jared Goff couldn't lose him the game because Jared Goff can't win you the game on his own. Don't give him the chance.
Don't give him the chance. Okay.
Put the ball in the hands of your best playmakers and let them do the work. And also something you don't think about, and it's something I said to you last year when I was very high on this team. This team's offensive line is fantastic.
That is true. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I have them starting off 0-5. I have them losing to the Chiefs, losing to Seattle, losing to Atlanta, losing to Green Bay, losing to Carolina.
All wins.
There's no way.
At
minimum, they're 2-2 to start the year.
I'm going to actually tell you something crazy, John. I have them starting 0-3.
That's fair. I'm starting to go with 5, so okay. Yeah, with the Lions for me, I just really don't have a lot of confidence in Jared Goff as your starting quarterback. I know people will say he brought you to a Super Bowl, but he didn't really bring you there. And then on this defensive side, I think Mike, I think you made a very good point of I look at this roster from a talent standpoint, and I just don't think they're as talented as the 3 other teams in this division. But I can't not take into account the fact that they are willing to play for their head coach. They are willing to go out there and work for everything, basically.
And if I can say this, I have less questions about Dan Campbell's ability to get the most out of his players. I have less questions about that than I do about Matt LaFleur in Green Bay and Matt Eberflus in Chicago.
That is fair. But my counter to that is I am much higher on the talent with those 2 teams than I am on the talent in Detroit.
That is a fair counter.
I am very excited to see how Jahmyr Gibbs looks. You did spend the 12th pick on him, which could have, we know. Yeah. Hey.
Different subject.
I yelled about this in a
different subject, but I'm excited for Jahmyr Gibbs. I also have him on my fantasy team. That's why I'll give him the ball. But yeah, I mean, receiving wise, but even receiving wise, it's really just Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Jameson Williams, once he gets back from suspension.
And he's suspended for the first 6 weeks?
So yeah, 6 weeks.
So that's 6 weeks without him. Granted, he did look great when he came back last year. He did look great. But I want to move on to the Green Bay Packers because I have them at 7-9.
I want to start here.
Oh,
I resent the Green Bay Packers.
I mean, I would hope so.
I hate this team.
Oh, why?
What do you have them going again?
I have them going 6-11.
Okay.
The narrative of this team is going to just bottom out and win 3 games, and I know I have them at 6. This team was more talented than outside of Aaron Rodgers last year. And I don't think Jordan Love's not Aaron Rodgers. This is not going to be a team you'll want to face, though. I think this is going to be a 6-win team that is a few bounces away from being a 10-win team.
I think this team, everything you saw the Jets do with Zach Wilson, think the complete opposite with what the Packers are doing with Jordan Love. Yep. Think just the complete opposite. Jordan Love was drafted, 3-4 years ago?
4 years ago.
Got to come in and sit behind an MVP Aaron Rodgers for 4 years. He is now coming into a team where he's not going to be asked to do very much. He does have weapons, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. He still has that
Aaron Jones
and A.J. Dillon. He still has that great running back duo. His offensive line is still fairly decent.
David Bakhtiari is back from injury.
Their defense is still at least solid in my eyes. You still have Jair Alexander there.
Well, they have Joe Barry calling plays, which weighs them down.
Which, that is true. I think their defense needs to be better this year than it was last year. But I just think...
Kenny Clark.
I think Jordan Love is going to be... I think he's going to be solid. I think he's going to have the rookie year that you kind of saw from Kenny Pickett last year. I think he'll have a similar rookie year to Mac Jones, where he's not fantastic, but he's good enough to win you football games. But at the end of the day, sometimes you're just going to be out-talented by other teams that you go up against.
I would say more. It's the Daniel Jones last season. We're going to see that this year. I think he's
definitely going to throw for more touchdowns.
I think he's going to be better than Daniel Jones because I'm not that high on him, but...
I think Christian Watson
there's going to be games this team just gets out-coached or another team makes a play on them.
I think there's just going to be there's going to be games where they're just simply just out-talented.
Yeah.
It's just a matter that they have the young receiver core with them that he's been practicing with.
I think
he's already been growing with the core is my thing. Yeah. He's already been practicing with them. Even when Rodgers was around, there was 4 or 5 young receivers on that team that were probably going down to playing second team reps with them or whatever. And I think now they're all growing together. I think they'll be able to reach their peaks together and really strive. And I think that's going to be what's key, that they're going to all be on the same level.
Basically what the Jets should have done with Zach Wilson. And I also think too, another thing that's going to help Jordan Love is, like we mentioned, that running back duo. If you have a good run game, it's much easier on a young quarterback. Yes. I think that's going to help him out a lot. But, yeah, I just think that overall, I think Matt LaFleur can do a decent enough job to win them 7 games. I'm not saying they're going to be world beaters out here. I have them going 7-9. Or it should be 7-10, I think, but I don't know. I think I missed a game. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, I did. Actually, no, I have them winning 8 games. Never mind. So I have them going I'm going 8-9.
So I guess the only thing that's left is the most polarizing team, maybe in the
Well,
NFL.
there's 2 teams left.
Two teams. We're going to start with the Vikings.
Oh, thank God.
The most polarizing team in the league, do you think?
11 one-score wins last year, Mike, out of their 13 wins.
That's gotta
There's
be,
no
that's
way
gotta
that
be a
happened.
record.
There's no way it happens again. So,
And even though I think this team is more talented than they were last year, I still have
Whoa.
them winning less games.
how many games do you have them winning?
Of 9.
I have them winning 10. So, I think simply because of the fact that their entire offense is going to run through number 18. He's going to have,
I just think he brings wins, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I just think he brings wins.
I think you put him in the situations, dude. That man's out there making the play for the dub, and it's crazy.
Justin Jefferson,
Doesn't matter. Just get me the ball, motherfucker.
We're going to have a serious conversation by the time his career's over. I think he can be one of the best wide receivers of all time by the time.
He's entering that conversation as long as he keeps doing what he's been doing.
I mean,
he just has to do it for a decent amount of time. He just has to keep
think about this. He's doing this with Kirk Cousins.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Could you imagine
he doesn't have to rely on Kirk Cousins. He's the one who walks over. Throw me the fucking ball. I don't care what it looks like to you. Throw me the ball.
Because we have seen Justin Jefferson since he came into the league, even when he was at LSU with Joe Burrow, dominating. Since he's come into the league, he's been nothing short of fantastic. And I think he's going to continue that this year. I think he's going to be – I already think he's the best receiver in football. I think he's just going to add on to that this year. I think he could have a record-setting year this year.
I think he's the best receiver in football. It's just we're at the point where he's still a young receiver. We just have to see him constantly do it. He has to keep it up. That's what we need to see.
Year 3?
I was going to say, right? Yeah.
He's
the same class as Burrow, right?
He's in year 3 or 4, I'm pretty sure.
4.
One of those two.
4, because there was talk he was going to hold out for a contract.
You're right.
They also drafted.
Year 4.
They also added Quentin Johnson along with this. They have, I think it's KJ Osborne is still there as well. They lose Dalvin Cook, so Alexander Madison is going to get most of the carries for this team. I think this team really comes down to you had the worst defense arguably in the league last year. You can only go up from here. At least I hope. You can only really go up. But, yeah, I just, like me and Mike said, I just think that Justin Jefferson just brings wins. So I think by default, they're winning 10 games. I think Justin Jefferson wins them at least 8. So. Like, those games that they have against, like, some tough competition, like, they play – I'm trying to think. Well, actually, I don't have them beating really anybody good. So – because, like, I have them beating the Chargers in week 3. That's a game that I think Justin Jefferson wins them. So, like, yeah, like I said, I think it's just Justin Jefferson just going to win you games because that guy is a fucking dog. Mike?
I think my different one on here, because I have one more win than you guys. I think it's that I end up having him beat the 49ers.
Is that one of those games where Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, that's a Monday night game.
It's
a Monday night game that Justin Jefferson goes on. I saw Monday night Vikings home, and I go, Justin Jefferson.
See, that's a game where Jefferson gets like 15 catches for like 303 and 3 touchdowns, and they win the game.
Something ridiculous.
John, I'm gonna put a bet out there right now. Scale of 1 to 10. What are the chances Justin Jefferson is the first ever 2,000-yard receiving season?
Right, like this year or
this year? This year.
Okay, well I want to look at the schedule. Okay, Tampa Bay, he can have a great game.
I think
Philly, he's going to get Darius Slay, so that'll be a little bit of a shaky one. I think against the Chargers, he's going to destroy everybody on that team. Panthers, week 4, that you get J.C. Horn. Week 5 against Kansas City, I think he has a good game. He plays Chicago in week 6. I think he has a good game there. Week 7 against San Francisco, shaky. Week 8 against Green Bay. We saw him play Jair Alexander twice last year. One game he had 1 catch for 15 yards. The other game he had 8 catches for almost 200 yards. Against Atlanta in week 9, he gets AJ Terrell and Jeff Okudah. I think he handles those two. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say. Do I think it's going to happen personally? No. Do I think he's going to come awfully fucking close to it? Absolutely. But I don't think he's going to get there. But I don't hate you throwing that. But Anything else on the Vikings?
Kirk Cousins last year in Minnesota. Feels like just yesterday he signed there.
Who do you think their replacement is for next year?
Who gives a fuck? Did you just hear who he's throwing the ball to?
Matt Stafford.
Real quick though, you got to think though that might entice some people to want to go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
If you know that Justin Jefferson's over there and he did that with Kirk Cousins, imagine what he could do for you. I'm just saying. Imagine what
Ryan
he could do.
Tannehill.
Hey, wild.
I was
Hear
just
me
thinking,
out.
as soon
Hear
as
me
you
out.
said it, I was like, Russell Wilson's going to
Hear
be
me out.
in
Hear me out. Justin Jefferson. If things just bottom out, Justin Jefferson goes up to management and says, "Hey, get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here anymore."
They're not going to trade him.
Oh, I know they won't, but
Give
I
him
know
a couple years.
I give him 2 years max. I'm giving him 2 more in
It'll be
Minnesota
like
before he's
3.
like, "Hey, my boy Jamar's in Cincinnati. Fucking send me there."
Nah, Joe, I was just thinking, what if like
Cincinnati's
the
about to
Bengals
rebuild
traded up
LSU.
to get Justin Jefferson that draft while they got Burrow?
I think
Put
they
them
tried. I
together
think
and
they
then
tried
got
to rebuild
Jamar.
LSU.
Oh,
Well, no, because if you think about it, they wouldn't have gotten Jamar because they wouldn't have been as bad.
in theory.
Well,
But imagine if they had.
Oh, well,
Imagine
no,
if you
well,
had
no.
both of them on his side.
They still would have been as bad because if Burrow still gets hurt, they still finished with like the 5th pick.
Dude, it would have.
All right,
Oh.
who's next?
Chicago.
Dumpies!
Justin Fields, baby.
Breakout year coming up.
Fuck yeah.
Is it a
about to-
breakout? I feel like everybody already knows he's really good.
Guys, no,
What do you
see,
mean? They were the
everyone
worst
thinks
team
he's
in the
ass.
league last year.
And everyone tried to blame it on him when they realized that he couldn't fucking breathe because of his offensive line.
You need more than 1.5 seconds to throw?
Brother,
1 3/4.
I know you. I was gonna say, you 1.5 seconds. You need more than that. Like, hey, I could use
That's the
a
best
couple.
they could give you.
That's the best they could give you.
I think I
And
said
then they
this.
wonder why he. If anybody watched Justin Fields at Ohio State, what you saw from him last year isn't actually the quarterback that he is.
No.
I don't know if you watched him at Ohio State, but he could actually throw the football.
I just hope he doesn't get killed behind that offensive line.
Thank God they have DJ Moore over there, so at least he can throw screen passes.
Darnell Wright, hopefully he starts to improve this offensive line.
I hope that offensive line. I hope Justin Fields has a good year, man.
Hey, man.
I think this
O-line
is
kind of defines your good and bad teams a lot.
And they have a really fucking shitty
Yeah,
offensive
offensive
line. But
line,
hey, they
yeah.
got DJ Moore and Darrell Mooney. So, and hey, Chase Claypool's still there.
for now
Forgot to mention him.
until he gets
As long
traded.
as they can get open in that 1.5 seconds.
Until he gets
That's
traded.
it.
That's the key.
Hey, that's why I say DJ Moore screens. You saw the first play of the preseason. DJ Moore screen pass 65 yards to the house. You saw it. You saw the vision. I really do think it's possible that Justin Fields could have almost 5,000 all-purpose yards this year.
Okay.
I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't
Think he
that's
throws
wild.
for 4K and rushes for another K?
That's possible.
I think it's possible.
I see it more around 47 and
I think it's more
43,
around
700.
Yeah. See, I think it's more honestly. I think it's more around 3,900.
I just him getting 1,000. I think
I think he
do
can
it, but
easily
that's
get
a mark.
1,000 again.
That's a hard mark for a quarterback.
He hit it last year pretty easily. I'm pretty sure.
He was running
Yeah,
for his life.
Exactly.
I was
And
saying,
if
I
he's,
feel like he
and if
didn't
he's
have
running for his life
like,
again,
all right, okay,
3,000
you're right.
yards throwing screen passes, another 1,000 yards running away from the pressure.
Okay.
All right, let's go to
And their
the
defense is fucking terrible.
let's
so.
go to the AFC East now.
This is the fucking bulldozer of a division. I feel so bad for you guys. Can I?
Wait till you hear
Who's,
my
who's going
fucking
first?
I'll go first.
All right.
I have the Patriots at 6-11, the Jets missing the playoffs at 9-8, the the Bills as the 7 seed at 11-6, and I have the Dolphins winning the division at 12-5.
Hold on, I missed some games here.
Unbelievable, Mike. What do you have?
I have the Jets losing the division at 11-6.
How the fuck?
Patriots third in the division at 11-6.
I gotta see how you did this.
The
I gotta see
Dolphins
this.
at 12-5, and the Bills at 12-5. That is
Wait,
my
what are their
AFC.
division records?
5-1 for the Bills, 3-3 for the Dolphins, 2-4 for the Pats, and 2-4 for the Jets.
Okay, let me get my.
I have the Patriots at 2-4 in the division, the Jets at 3-3, the Bills at 3-3, and the Dolphins at 4-2.
You guys are about to love this, all right?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Starting from the bottom, the 2-15 New England Patriots.
Woo!
In third place, the 10-7 Miami Dolphins. In second place, the 11-6 Buffalo Bills. And in first place, led by That man, Aaron Rodgers, the 12-5 New York Jets. I will explain to you the only games that the New England Patriots are going to win this year. The Patriots are going to beat the Raiders.
No, ready.
That doesn't
All
need
right, week
explanation.
one.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on. I'll tell you. Who
The
they
Patriots are going to win 2 games. They're going to beat the Raiders and they're going to beat Russell Wilson and the Broncos. That's it.
They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Dolphins.
John has left the building.
Yo, all right. They beat the Colts in Germany. That's an easy win.
AR-15, buddy.
I don't care about your
Wouldn't it
fucking
be
assault
AR-5?
rifles.
Well, I still call him AR-15, but sorry. Okay.
Man, bring it
That's not
gun
his
to a
number
football
anymore.
fight.
My bad, I forgot. And plus, Jonathan Taylor would probably still be there. So
I don't know if he's going to play though.
shut up. 2-15 is solid. Do you want to hear the record for the Patriots in the division?
0-6.
Yep.
Well, you said they only win 2 games.
I was gonna say, you
Both
told us the
non-rivals,
two teams.
so it was pretty easy to figure
Hey.
out.
I'm just a Patriots hater. Well-known fact.
They know, dude. That pick really hurt.
When we go to the game later this year, am I going to wear a Patriots hat or a Bills hat?
Definitely.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
Definitely.
Just know we might make fun of you.
Was I not invited to this? Is bullshit.
Talk to him.
It's okay.
I
I don't
only
really
get
care.
4 tickets.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, don't worry. If the other guy bails out on you, you're next in line.
Ooh.
You're the next person I'm
I can
asking.
buy you tickets to a Seahawks game, but you got to pay for the plane tickets and the hotel.
Honestly, I wouldn't.
Who
mind
needs a
going to
hotel?
Seattle. I wouldn't mind going to Seattle. Hey! Guess what? I'm pretty sure Seattle comes. Or pretty sure New England goes to Seattle next year. So we'll have to watch that game. But
watch along or something.
just know, if I do end up going to that game, you bet your ass I'm wearing Seahawks gear.
That's fine.
Bet
Dude.
your
Sounds like
fucking
we
ass.
might be trying to go to that game again.
All right. Yeah, I have Miami missing the playoffs at 10-7.
I have the Jets missing the playoffs at 11-6.
That is fucking
I
wild.
have the Jets missing at 9-8.
You're just a fucking Jets hater, so I don't even
No,
care.
I'm not.
No. Actually, you're not even the Jets hater. You just hate Aaron Rodgers.
That is fair.
You just hate Aaron. Because if I told you, I bet you like Garrett Wilson.
I don't hate Garrett Wilson.
I bet you're okay with Brees Hall.
Nah, he talks too much.
The motherfucker
I
doesn't
don't
even
know why
say
you hate
anything.
the Packers.
If you want to hear about talks too much, I'll go introduce you to Sauce Gardner.
Oh, absolutely.
There you go.
When you're Sauce Gardner, though, you can talk.
Hey, when you're Sauce Gardner and no one scored a touchdown on
There's
you,
a
in
reason
3 years?
Richard Sherman was allowed to talk.
Yeah. Hey. You ain't gotta fucking tell me, buddy. I watched it. Yeah, I think the Jets are the best team in this division. I think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in this division. No, that's not true. I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback in this division. But yeah, I think their defense is, far and above everyone else. I think the Jets' defense is much better than the other 3 defenses in this division. And yeah, I watched one preseason drive of Aaron Rodgers on the Jets, and I was sold.
Pats defense. They're just a top 5. I'm a top 10 defense. I'm 8th. They're like 4th.
They're like
They might
third.
be 3rd. I said I was like top 5. They're 4th. I was thinking they might be 3rd.
I think the Patriots are definitely a top 10 defense. They might be 10, but they're top 10.
All right. Okay. I don't know. You just said they have a much better defense.
Okay,
So I'm
I
like,
shouldn't have said.
we're
Well,
right
okay,
there.
well, when you compare them to Miami's defense and Buffalo's defense, yeah, it's much better.
Okay. No, I'm down. I just felt grouped
Yeah.
in.
Okay. What else do we want to talk about in this division? Tua's not going to play all 17
I think
games.
it's the best division in football.
I disagree
I
with
think
that.
the North. I think the AFC North is the best division in football, but because realistically, the AFC North could have 4 wins when 4 teams win 10 games, not the AFC East. Realistically, if I wasn't hating on the Patriots, they maybe win 6 games, maybe. But I'm sticking with 2. I think 2
you need
solid.
my ability to remove all human emotion from every decision.
I'm
you
just
make.
so bad. Why do you think I had the Seahawks going like 13-4, buddy? NFC East.
There's nothing to talk about the AFC East.
I mean, what the
What-
Jets are
what
going to
do
win
you
the
got?
division. What do you got?
I was trying to talk about them, but we kind of seemed like we got everything in
Well,
there.
because the Jets are going to win the division. So, and if it's not going to be the Jets and Buffalo, and the Jets will finish second to be a wild card team.
And there's not a chance this blows up, John.
No, not at all.
There's not a chance this blows up.
Not a single chance at all.
I think
You're a
them and the
buffoon.
Dolphins
Look at my
have the
face. Do you
highest
see? Do you
chances
see
of
my
blowing
face?
up.
There's not a single chance. Mike,
And that is the same face.
Hey,
This is
Mike.
the same face you gave me in
Mike.
March when I said the Padres and Mets might explode this
He's
season.
not getting it, Mike. Mike, there's absolutely no chance that this blows up on the Jets.
Well, you don't seem to believe that. You can be sarcastic all you want.
Yeah, because guess what? I'm just picking it because I just want to see the Jets kind of be decent.
I don't.
Do I actually? You know what? Fuck it.
See, as much as I don't mind them being decent, they can't
Fuck it.
do
If you want me to change it so bad,
You want
here.
me to change it so
12-5 for the Bills, 11-6 for the Jets. There you go. Look at that. Now they don't even make the playoffs now. Would you look at that? Now they go 11-6 and they don't even make the
was that
playoffs.
week 1 that you changed?
Yep.
Comes down to week 1, baby.
Week
Winner
1.
loss is the end of the season.
Because now the playoff teams are the Colts, the Jags, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Chargers.
You ready for the ultimate irony in this, Mike?
You have them winning week 1?
I have the Jets winning week 1.
What is this? Hold on. I can change a couple more. Hold on.
I have them losing week 1.
I have them winning week 1, but then losing week 2 to Dallas.
See, you're fucking insane if you think Aaron Rodgers is losing to the Cowboys. I've watched way too many.
That's the world I live into.
I've watched way too many times. I've watched Aaron Rodgers whoop that ass.
Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
They whoop that ass.
Aaron Rodgers and the Cowboys, no matter who wins that game, America loses.
I mean, you're not wrong. I think any game the Cowboys win, America loses.
Yeah, but any game Aaron Rodgers wins, I lose.
You lose, I don't.
I don't know what, like.
I like Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what you're despising.
I don't dislike Aaron Rodgers.
You're a
I
fucking
dislike
liar.
the way people talk about Aaron Rodgers.
What do you mean by that?
That's
How
how
you're never able to criticize him. I just can't stand.
Okay, see, that's fair. I thought you were gonna say that people like overhype him. I'm like, I mean,
No,
back-to-back.
I don't think they overhype him. I think people
back-to-back
are too,
MVPs.
I
Was
think
never
people-
considered the best quarterback in the NFL. After
I mean,
back-to-back
to be fair,
MVPs.
he didn't deserve the second one. That
Yeah,
should have been
still-
that should have been
still
Jonathan Taylor.
Still won it.
He did win it.
Still won it.
Not arguing.
You know how MVPs work. They don't go to fucking position players because guess what? If they did, Justin Jefferson would have won it this year.
That is true.
Exactly.
Not arguing
Cal-
that at all.
Cal-
And Cooper
Johnson
Cup
would've had one.
won it the year before.
Calvin Johnson would have had one in his pocket by now.
Yeah, exactly. You see this one?
No, he wasn't on playoff team. He
See,
didn't have a
this is
chance.
what I'm saying. Derrick
Doesn't matter,
Henry
he had the best
would have had one.
season.
You see what I'm saying?
Tough to find a year for Derrick Henry because his best year was Mahomes' first year starting.
No, it was like Mahomes' like second year starting.
When Henry had his 2,000 yards,
Still, it was 2,000 yards. I still would have given that shit to Derrick Henry.
Patrick Mahomes threw for 55
I mean,
I don't give a
touchdowns.
fuck.
Yeah, but if a
Hey, guess what?
position
Guess what?
player's
50
getting
hey,
a
guess what?
third
Hey, guess
of what
what?
a quarterback's getting for passing
Hey, guess
yards.
what? 55 isn't 56, okay? So 55 isn't 56 or 57, so I don't care.
And Derrick Henry's 2,000 yards isn't 2,200 yards.
It was close enough.
But 55 wasn't close enough to 56.
Yeah. Close enough. All right. Are we still talking about this fucking AFC East? Because now I have the Bills winning it, going 6-0. Now I'm pissed off, but hey.
But hey,
I didn't ask you to change it.
Too bad I did. Now you're happy.
I will never be happy.
Shut up. Ooh, you know what's going to be great though? I get to talk about the fact that there is a team in this next division that gets to miss the playoffs, and I've never been happier.
All right,
I think we all have the same team here. And NFC East. John, who you have in fourth place?
I have the Giants.
We do not have the same team.
I have the Giants at 5-11.
I have the Eagles.
Wait, in fourth?
Yeah. I just wanted to get the reactions. I just needed you guys to be sitting there like,
I was
what?
like, Mike, this is how we get hate comments now because now we're trolling too much now. Now we're hating now.
Yeah, you're fired.
You're fired. Get off the
That's fine.
I'm kidding.
The show's just going to be me and John
All right.
yelling for 2 hours.
All right, who do you have in list?
I have the Cowboys at 8-9.
See, I'm not that ignorant. I had at least, I'm not that ignorant. If I wanted to, I could have made them 2-15.
I had
I
them
have
at
the
8 and
Giants at
9, but I
have the Giants at 5-11.
3-14 is what I have them at.
And then
Who?
Who
The
do we
Giants.
Who do we have in third?
I have the Giants at 9 and 8.
Who do you have?
Cowboys 6-11.
I have the Commanders at 6-11. Second?
I have Washington at 9 and 8.
Second?
8-9 Washington.
I have the Cowboys at 10-7.
I'm gonna guess we all have the same team in first place.
It just depends on what record we have them with.
Let's place bets. Who has the best record for them? I'm gonna say John.
Easily. Oh, I do. Well,
It's definitely me.
I'm 16-1.
So am I.
I was like, I don't think he has them winning every game, and I only have them losing one.
Wait, who do I have them losing to, real
it the
quick?
Chiefs
Is it
game?
San Francisco?
It's the Chiefs game.
I have them losing to the Dolphins.
I have them
I
losing
have
That's my only loss on
I
here
have
is
them
the
losing to the
Dolphins.
Chiefs.
I have Philadelphia at 14-3. Their losses coming to
Kansas
Dallas,
City,
Kansas City, and
Wait, hold on. Is that Dallas game in Dallas?
yes,
Okay. Okay, I understand.
and Dallas. Who is this? I only see 2 games here that they lose.
Dude, I only see one. Shit you not, I only see that Chiefs game.
Cowboys.
Oh, Kansas City, Dallas, and then Seattle late in the year. At Seattle.
Well, hey, you're giving us way too much credit. I'm going to be honest with you, because guess what? Remember that thing I said earlier about stop the run? You know what the Eagles do really, really, really fucking good? They run the football. You know what Seattle can't do really, really fucking well? Stop the run.
Well, Seattle's fighting for a division title at that point. San Francisco hasn't clinched it yet, so.
Fair enough.
He looks at his. Oh shit! Okay.
Fair enough. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But fair enough.
So where do we want to start here?
Nowhere.
Can we just talk about how good the Eagles are?
That feels kind of boring. I feel like everybody's talked about the Eagles.
Can we talk about how bad the Cowboys are? I feel like that's kind of boring. All we do is talk about how bad the Cowboys are.
I think Micah Parsons.
I think Dak Prescott. Hey, hot take.
Oh, Dak's gonna blow them games. That's why I have him losing.
I almost texted this to Mike earlier. Hot take. How long before you think Dak Prescott gives the starting job to Trey Lance? I say 8 weeks.
First.
I don't think
He's not even there.
Yeah, he's
It's
gone.
Trey Lance. Trey Lance is the bag.
Cooper Rush.
I say 8 weeks. And then Trey Lance is all of a sudden throwing fucking slant.
Oh no, dude! I think
I have them finishing 8 and 9. Their
least
record's
5
never
games.
bad enough to me that they're just gonna completely hand the job over.
No. I don't think they're going to. I think Dak is physically going to play that bad that they have no other choice.
Nah. So I don't think they can.
Like I think Dak might throw. I think Dak
basically
might throw
every
15
other,
picks this year.
Besides the week 5 and 6, I have them going every other until week
Brother,
13, where they lose 4 straight.
I think Dak might
And they
throw
let
like
the Chiefs
damn
get
near
away.
20 picks this year. Because we've all seen him throwing some passes in training camp. That motherfucker looks like he's throwing with his eyes closed.
He might be.
I have this team actually starting 4-0 and then finishing 8 and 9. I'm not
Can
sure
I
how
just
I
say
did that.
I'm like the biggest? I have them.
I have literally.
I have
2
them
and
starting
2,
3-1.
and then I think at 3 and 5. And then,
Can we actually you know what? Let's do something positive. Shout out Brandon Cooks. That man is so underrated.
Wait, hold on.
That man's been traded so many
I'm
times.
changing some things.
Oh,
Give me a
top
minute.
tier guy, dude. Top tier number 1 receiver. I love Brandon Cooks. He's not.
All right,
he's
I've
like-
changed it. I now have the
Starbreaker.
Cowboys at 7 and
But
10.
he's great.
I've changed it. I now have the Cowboys at 7 and 10. I've made some adjustments.
What do you think about your Commanders?
Wait, hold on. Let me change something real quick.
I just want a Sam Howell take.
Hang on.
Come on, spit it out.
I'm chefing up real quick.
Give me something on the Commanders.
Hold on, I'm chefing up.
I think people are sleeping on how good this team is. That's
What?
my take.
Hey. This is me to the Commanders, right? Fucking, I'm asleep until they prove me otherwise.
I think they're just going to have better quarterback play than we expect. And I think the receivers they have are underrated.
Sam
How they
Howell
run
is
an
by far
offense
the
usually.
third best quarterback in that division. The only reason he's not the worst is because Daniel Jones is
Hey,
there.
let's just remember, Sam Howell destroyed Dallas the one game he played last year.
And I don't. They still. have
That's why I
pass
think they're going to be
rush.
better than Dallas because I just changed it. I have the Commanders going 8 and 9, finishing second.
They also might have the second best defensive line in the entire league.
Yeah,
That's if Chase Young
that's
stays
still-
healthy.
They have like the third or fourth best without Chase Young.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm just a fucking hater then, I guess. No, I
I
just
would have liked them better if they were still a football team.
that's what I'm
That was a
saying.
way better game.
Wait a second. I figured it out now. That's why I can't fucking predict them to win any games because their fucking team name sucks.
That's true.
That automatically gives you at least 8 losses minimum.
At least before they were the football team, they were it.
Then right there, if they were
Dude,
the
that
football,
merch must have been
Hey,
awesome. It just
hey.
says team on it.
hey, if they were the Washington football team, I'd put them at 9 and 8, maybe 10 and 7. I'd put them there. The Giants suck. I have them going 5 and 11.
I got a question.
What's your question?
Who's the Cowboys' next head coach?
Doesn't
Mike
matter.
McCarthy.
I think it's Dan Quinn personally.
I think it's Brian Flores.
I hope not. Then I have to root against Brian Flores.
I love Brian Flores. God, please don't make me root again. Maybe it'll be Kyle Shanahan. I already root against him as it is.
Somebody who's a puppet, dude.
Somebody who just listens
Josh
to
McDaniel.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good
my
one.
God!
That's a good one.
Because you know for a
If
fact,
Jerry Jones is stupid enough to do it, Matt Patricia will go do whatever the fuck you say.
motherfucker, Jerry Jones has Dak Prescott as his quarterback. I'm pretty sure he's stupid enough to hire Josh McDaniels. Because
That was the
Dak
answer.
Prescott.
That was the only answer I'll
Because
accept.
Dak Prescott might be the definition of mid. Like, he's literally the definition of mid.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh, Nathaniel Brian Staley.
When Aaron Rodgers
Oh, Brand-
officially retires
Hey.
and Nathaniel Hackett can't get a job anywhere else.
Brandon Staley. After he
Joe
gets,
Judge.
hey, Urban Meyer, baby.
Nah, Jerry Jones can't. Nah, Jerry Jones will probably get down with him.
Dabo
Jerry
Sweeney.
Jones
Hey,
be throwing himself
hey,
under the
hey,
bus.
Hey, after what happened to Clemson yesterday, Dabo Sweeney,
Kind of not wrong.
Nick Saban,
unfortunately.
wait a second, Deion Sanders, hello.
So what do we got? South left?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we just have the Souths. These are actually probably two of the most interesting divisions to talk about. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to start in the NFC because that's less interesting to me.
Okay.
1 in 15 bucks.
Wait,
You
we're
missed
just gonna
the game.
What do you have them at?
I have 2 and 15 bucks.
I have 0 and 17 bucks.
4 and 13 Panthers.
I have 5 and 12 Saints.
I have. Should it be 5 and 12 or 4 and 12? 5 and 12.
5 and 12.
Which one of them equals 17, John?
No. I have the 4 and 13 Saints.
And then I have the 8 and 9 Panthers.
8 and 9 Falcons.
I have the 10 and 7 Falcons.
10 and 7 Saints.
I have the 10 and 7 Falcons winning the division.
I have the 13 and 4 Panthers winning the division.
What?
Dude, I'm such a fucking
There's
person.
not a chance.
Wait, hold on. Let me just revitalize who I have them beating. Okay. See, these are not unrealistic. Okay, well, I have them beating Dallas.
Oh, dude, I have the Falcons.
I had them beating Dallas in
I have
week
the
11.
Falcons not win the division, but going 6-0.
Wait. Okay, wait a second. No, 13 wins is not unrealistic. Because the only unrealistic game I see on here is them beating Dallas. That's it.
That's your unrealistic.
Miami.
I have Miami beating them. I have
the
them
only
beating,
unrealistic
Alright,
game for them to win.
Vikings,
Okay.
I think, is a little out there.
No, I have them beating Atlanta. I have them beating the Saints.
They're not beating Seattle. Seattle
I
is
didn't.
way more
I didn't.
talented.
I didn't say they
You said
were.
Atlanta.
Let me finish. Let me go through the list.
I'm just looking at
Hey,
their
hey,
schedule of
hey,
games they're not winning.
Let me go through the list. They're beating Atlanta week 1. They're beating the Saints week 2. They're losing to Seattle in week 3. They're beating the Vikings in week 4. They're beating the Lions in week 5. They're losing to the Dolphins in week 6. Then they get their bye week in week 7. Week 8, they beat the Texans. Week 9, they beat the Colts. Week 10, they beat the Bears. This is the only unrealistic one, but that's because I'm a Cowboys hater. Week 11, they beat the Cowboys. But week 12, they beat the Titans. Week 13, they beat the Bucks. Week 14, they beat the Saints. Week 15, they lose to the Falcons. Week 16, they beat Green Bay. Week 17, they lose to Jacksonville. Week 18, they beat Tampa Bay.
I think it's crazy.
I actually have the
They go
Falcons
6-0
games
in the
flipped from what
division.
you have.
I think this division is fucking terrible.
No,
and I don't
hear
think they
you,
go.
but
And I don't think they
it's
go 6-0 in
crazy
the
that you
division.
think a rookie quarterback's going to go in and go 6-0.
He's
in
not
the
going
division.
6-0. He's losing to Atlanta.
I thought you had him beating Atlanta. Oh no, you have Atlanta winning that.
I have Atlanta winning.
You and I have the Atlanta games flipped. I have Atlanta winning in week 1 and then Carolina later in the season.
Okay, so then I'll flip that then. I don't care.
So, okay, I can move those.
I don't care. They're sweeping the Saints and they're sweeping the Bucks.
I have both of those actually.
But they're gonna beat the Titans. They're gonna
I
beat.
think they drop one to the Saints.
I don't think they do. I think the
I
Saints
have
are
them.
fucking
I have them
terrible.
losing to Tennessee.
I don't. I think Tennessee's terrible.
John. It doesn't matter what the talent is. They're a well-coached team, and the coach gets the most out of them.
You have to know what he's going based on.
Yeah,
Tennessee wasn't the most talented team in the league when they were 12-4 and the number 1 seed 2 years ago.
12-4 just to lose. I don't care. They lost to Patrick Mahomes. I knew they were never that good in the first place.
Is Bryce Young Patrick Mahomes?
No, but he's better than fucking Ryan Tannehill.
Okay, and Mike Vrabel's a better coach than
95% of them out there.
yeah.
Dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm going based off pure talent alone. I think quarterbacks win you games, and I think Bryce Young's going to do a hell of a lot of winning. 13-4, baby. 5-1 in the division.
I think somehow I ended up with the Saints winning the division.
That's just fucking ridiculous. Because
Just
Derek
accept
Carr
it.
is mid. Derek Carr actually might be the worst quarterback in this division.
Yeah, but let's go like you just okay.
Depends
they
on
beat the
what I see out
Titans.
of
They
Baker
beat the
Mayfield.
Bucks.
Who do I have them beating?
They beat the Texans.
I have
They
them
beat
losing.
the Giants,
I have them
Rams,
losing.
and Bucks.
I have them losing to the Titans. I have them losing to the Panthers. Losing to the Packers. They lose to Jacksonville. They lose to Indy. They lose to the Bears. They lose to the Vikings. They lose to the Falcons. They lose to the Lions. They lose to the Giants. They lose to the Rams. And they lose to the Falcons.
I haven't beaten the Giants.
That's like one of the only Giants wins
Giants,
that I have.
Rams.
I have them.
I have
I have them
them
losing both of those games.
I know. That's
The-
why those
the-
are like the main.
The
ones that are
Rams, the
different.
Rams game they can win. Like, I just think they're.
I just think by that time of year, the Giants, in my
I'm
eyes,
just
aren't
glad
gonna
we
have
can all
nothing. They
agree.
have
I
something.
think
It's gonna be a
honestly, the
different
top
game.
2 teams in this division should be whatever their records is. The 2 teams in this division that should be at the top are Carolina and Atlanta. Those should be the top 2 teams. The Saints are garbage, and Tampa Bay is a dumpster fire. Because I'm sorry,
But like an unaware dumpster fire, they're not aware of how bad they are.
I will say this right now. If I was the Saints, I would have rather ran it back with Jameis Winston than had Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr is just fucking like, what is the hype with Derek Carr? He had a bad season with Devontae Adams. How do you have a bad season with Devontae Adams? How do you have a bad season with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs? How do you have a bad offensive season as a quarterback?
I mean, terrible coaching, terrible scheme. They didn't buy into Josh McDaniels, which can't really blame them.
Shit, I wouldn't buy in the Josh McDaniels.
I can't really blame them at
I
this
wouldn't-
point. So like that,
I wouldn't buy into Josh McDaniels. I'd buy more into Josh McDaniels than I'd buy into Derek Carr. I'll tell you that much.
Why do you
I
think they had to
disagree
go
with
get
that.
Jimmy? Why did they have to go get Jimmy G? So
Because Jimmy G's better than Derek Carr.
Okay,
Trey Lance
I'll take that. I just think it's somebody who would listen.
Hey, guess what? The
to what I'm
49
told.
the Saints would be better with Trey Lance at their the Saints would be better with Drew Lock playing quarterback than Derek Carr. The Saints would love to have Kenny Pickett right now. The Saints would love to have Kenny Pickett's backup right now.
I wouldn't even love to have Mitch Trubisky.
I'd be okay with it. All right, let's get the fuck off this division.
This division makes me angry.
Which division?
The AFC South.
This division makes me so mad because it's so bad.
Let's go to the AFC South.
All right,
I
starting
have
from the bottom.
4-13 Texans.
Mike?
3-14 Texans. I had to remember how they were.
2-15 with CJ Stroud and Will Anderson.
5-12 Colts.
6-11 Colts.
4-13 Titans.
9-8 Titans.
9-8 Titans.
12-5 Colts.
11-6 Jaguars.
13-4 Jaguars.
12-5 Jags.
Repeat that Colts record again.
12-5, motherfucker.
Dude, you
I
should
need
have
you
saw
to-
him going.
I
through
need
making
you to
the
walk
calls.
me through
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Nah, this is
I'll walk.
great.
Listen, I'll
All right.
walk you through this. Okay.
Jags.
Jags week 1, they lose.
Texans.
They win.
Ravens.
They lose.
Rams.
They win.
Titans.
They win. I
Jags.
think they split.
Browns.
They lose.
Saints.
They win.
Panthers.
They lose.
Pats.
They win.
Bucks.
They win.
Titans.
They win.
Bengals.
Oh, see, this is the unrealistic one.
Steelers.
They lose.
Falcons.
They win.
Raiders.
They win.
Texans.
They win.
And here's my unrealistic one.
Okay. So they moved from 12-5 to 11-6. They also missed the playoffs.
I think
And
I
the
don't-
Jets- and
I
the
don't
Jets-
think
and the
they
Jets
beat
make
the
their way back
Patriots in Germany. I think you underestimate how much of like a real home game that will be for the Pats.
I hope you realize, I think the Patriots by far have one of the worst, if not the worst, offense in all of football.
That's fine. I think that doesn't like. I
Guess
think
what?
that's
You
Dude,
can't
dude,
win games.
no,
You can't score points.
No. I'm not sure the Cardinals are going to score more than 20 points in any game this season.
I'm not sure they're going to score 20 points over the whole course of 18 games.
Okay. So
Get
if
shut out
okay.
8 weeks.
Hey. So if one team is at 32, somebody's got to be at 31.
Dallas.
No!
All right, Tampa.
I trust that Baker Mayfield can somehow find a way to score more points with Chris Godwin
Sorry,
and
dude.
Mike
I
Evans.
can't wait till like week 5 when I can talk to John and I have a top 20 offense in the league.
You act like that's a good thing. Top 20 is not good.
It'll be good enough for my 12-5 record, 11 and something,
He
11 and 6.
He says, I can't wait to talk about a top 20 offense. Yeah, I'll let you know when I have my top 5 offense. Mike, where's your offense going to be?
That's fine. Where's your defense going to be?
Top 20.
All right,
And I'm not
see, that's
saying-
where I'm at.
and
Mine
I'm
are just
not-
switched
and
around,
I'm
all
not-
right?
And I'm not saying, no, but your defense is going to be like top 10. Mine's going to be like,
They
my
might
offense
have-
is going to be like top 5,
Hey.
top 3.
I think
My
I had the
offense
Steelers offense at 18.
My offense might realistically be the 3rd best offense in all of football.
Who's ahead of it?
I would say probably Philly and Kansas City. And if we're, well, no, probably Philly and so forth. Philly, Cincinnati, and the Bengals. I think they'll have a better offense than the Ravens. I just think their defenses will be so far apart that the Ravens will just be better.
Okay.
Okay, so I changed it now. Now the Colts are 11-6 and they don't make the playoffs, but that means the Jets make the playoffs. So which one do you want?
You've been sitting here fucking around with it every time.
Nah, fuck it. I'm going back. Hold on. Hold on, let me look at that. Okay, no, they're beating the Browns in week 7. They're going back to 12-5. Back into the playoffs they go. Aaron Rodgers, goodbye. Anthony Richardson is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Does your lowest seed have 12 wins?
In the AFC?
Yeah. 7?
No. What's your draft order? Are your first 6 picks AFC teams?
No, actually, my first 3 picks are all NFC. All NFC teams. No, my first pick is an AFC team. Do you want to hear my top? Do you want to hear my top 10?
Go ahead.
Raiders drafting Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Buccaneers number 2 drafted Drake May. Cardinals at number 3. Texans at number 4. Patriots at number 5. Broncos at 6, which somehow the Seahawks will fleece and trade that to them so they can get the 6th pick. Rams at 7. Saints at 8. Titans at 9. Giants at 10.
The Cowboys at 10.
It's okay. The Cowboys are at 12. Your Steelers are at 16. That's a good pick. My Seahawks are at 21. If you want to know where the Colts are drafting, by the way, the Colts will be drafting 18th. And the last 4 picks in the draft will belong to the Ravens, Bengals, Eagles, and Chiefs.
How does that happen?
I have no idea.
Last 4 picks would be 2 AFC, 2 NFC teams.
No, he just said all 4 of them.
That's
Chiefs,
just,
Eagles, Bengals, Ravens.
I don't know. I don't know how drafts work.
Oh, so it ends up Ravens jump over the Panthers because of seeding.
Yeah.
Like based off of wins, they
Pretty
were
much.
the 1 seed and lost in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's go to the wild card round of the playoffs, guys.
Oh, you're ready to get into this? You ready for me to cook up?
Yep.
Wait, I thought we were going to the wild card round first.
Why?
Because, you would have to go to the wild card. Oh, wait, I didn't even pick mine. Hold on.
All right. Mike, what's your AFC 4th seed and 5th seed?
My AFC. Whoa, why? Why are you doing it that way? Why don't we just start at 7?
Okay.
So our 7 seeds in each conference.
I have the New York Jets.
Buffalo Bills.
I have the Indianapolis Colts.
Patriots at 6.
Steelers at 6.
Chargers at 6.
Chargers at 5.
Dolphins at 5.
Bengals at 5.
Chiefs at nope. Bills at 4.
Jaguars at 4.
Jaguars at 4.
Dolphins at 3.
Jags at 3.
Bills at 3.
Bengals at 2.
Kansas City at 2.
Kansas City at 2.
Chiefs. Kansas City at 1.
I
Bengals
have
at 1.
the Ravens at 1.
All right.
NFC?
NFC. Washington at 7.
The Bears!
I have
That
Atlanta.
might be more far-fetched than the
I-
Colts.
I have Atlanta at 7.
I have Minnesota at 6.
Seahawks at 6.
You're going to hate me, Mike. I have the Bears at 6.
Seahawks at 5.
Vikings at 5.
Seahawks at 5.
Lions at 4.
Saints at 4.
Vikings at 4.
Atlanta at 3.
Niners at 3.
Panthers at 3.
San Francisco at 2.
Lions at 2.
San Francisco at 2. Y'all are clowning me for that, but he's got
Oh,
the fucking
he goes
Lions
at
at
1.
2.
All at once. Philadelphia
at
at 1.
Yep. All right.
All right. Wild card round. Who's going to go first?
I'll go first. I have the Jaguars beating the Bengals at home. I have the Bills beating the Chargers at home. And I have the Chiefs beating the Colts at home. And then in the NFC, I have the Seahawks going to Minnesota and winning. I have San Francisco beating Atlanta in San Francisco. And I have Carolina beating the Bears in Carolina.
I have the Chargers going on the road to beat the Jaguars. I have the Dolphins beating the Steelers in Miami, and then I have the Bengals beating the Bills. The NFC, I have the Seahawks beating Detroit in Detroit. I have Atlanta beating the Vikings at home, and then the Niners beating the Commanders at home.
I would just like to state throughout the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, I have one team going on the road and winning, and that's Seattle.
I have 2 teams in the first round.
I have one team in the entire first 2 rounds. I think I might have one team in the entire.
Lions beat the Bears. Niners beat the Seahawks. Vikings beat the Saints. Chiefs beat the Jets. Jags beat the Pats. And Dolphins beat the Bills.
Is that your divisional round?
Yes. No, it's my wild card round. It's my fault.
Divisional round. Go ahead,
first.
John.
I have the number 2 seeded Chiefs beating the number 3 seeded Bills at home. Kansas City at home. And then I have the Ravens at home beating the number 4 seeded Jaguars. In the NFC, I have the number 2 seeded San Francisco 49ers beating the number 3 seed Panthers. And sadly, this is where it all comes to an end. I have the number 1 seeded Eagles beating the number 5 seeded Seahawks at home. If this game was in Lumen Field, by the way, Seattle would win.
I have the 2 seeded Bengals beating the 3 seeded Dolphins in Cincinnati, the 1 seed Chiefs beating the Chargers in Kansas City. I have San Francisco beating Atlanta, and then Philadelphia beating Seattle.
So sad that we're going to lose to the fucking Eagles.
So Chiefs beat the Jags 2-3. Bengals beat the Dolphins 1-5. The number 2 seeded Lions lose to the number 3 seeded 49ers, and Eagles beat the Vikings 1-5.
All right, championship games, John.
I have the Kansas City Chiefs going into Baltimore and beating Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And then I have a repeat of last year's NFC Championship game. I have the Eagles at home beating the 49ers.
I have the Bengals going on the road to beat Kansas City.
Burrowhead.
And I have the 49ers going on the road to beat the Eagles.
So I have the Bengals winning at home versus the Chiefs. And then I have the 49ers going on to beat the Eagles.
So what's your Super Bowl, John?
I have the Eagles beating the Chiefs this year.
I have the 49ers beating the Bengals.
I have the Bengals beating the 49ers.
I'm the only right one on here, let's be honest.
Joe Burrows becomes a Hall of Famer.
The Eagles are by far.
He's played 5 seasons.
He's played 5 seasons. He's not even 5 full seasons. He's played like 4 full seasons.
There's only been 2 quarterbacks to go on to win a Super Bowl after losing their first one, and they're all both Hall of Famers.
He has to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, which he's done.
He's already done.
Kind of one time.
I have him doing it again and then going on to win the Super Bowl.
That's insane.
You could okay, dude. Wait till you watch it happen live,
Can I say it, John?
live and in person.
Can I say it?
What can you say?
He's got to beat a Steelers team that was far inferior to his team.
Wait, so what are the craziest things we have in the playoffs? I think
I think I have 2 road teams winning the conference championship games.
Hold on.
That's a little.
Mike? Where did you say you had who did you have Seattle losing to?
Me?
Yeah.
49ers 63.
How do you have them as the 6th seed?
Because the Vikings had a better record.
Oh, see, that's where you went wrong because you think the Vikings are going to be better than Seattle. I have the Vikings and Seattle playing in the wild card game, and Seattle goes on.
Because I have Lions coming in second.
Seattle's going to go into Minnesota and absolutely curb stomp the Vikings. So yeah, is that about it?
That's all I got.
Did we talk about awards or no?
No.
Are we doing awards here? Or?
I mean, we might as well do them for right now.
MVP.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Burrow. I honestly think Justin Herbert's winning MVP.
I have Patrick Mahomes. Offensive Player of the Year.
Justin Jefferson.
I have Justin Jefferson.
I hate when we all pick the same.
I hate it, but it's just so easy.
Okay, for the sake of being different, Lamar Jackson.
In that case, you might as well just pick him to win MVP.
Think of a running back. Who's a running back that could win this? Who can be Offensive Player of the Year this year?
Derrick Henry. Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, that's fair. Defensive Player of the Year.
Nick Bosa. Back to back.
Mike?
That was aggressive.
Because I don't know who I want.
I have my pick.
All right, who do you have?
Patrick Surtain.
Tough award for a corner.
I
don't hate the pick.
I think he's going to. I think the reason that he won't is because he's going to be that dominant of a shutdown corner, but I just think they're going to have no choice. But it's either him or Micah Parsons. But I'm gonna go with PS2 just because I want to be different. I was gonna say Tariq Woolen, but
Fred Warner.
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Bijan Robinson.
Pick a receiver.
You know who I want to. Fucking Jackson Smith and Jigba,
There
dude.
we go. I like to pick the receiver.
Jackson Smith and
Defensive
Jigba.
Rookie of the Year. Nolan Smith.
Jalen Carter.
Devon Witherspoon. Seattle's sweeping the awards again. Fuck it.
I love it.
I'm such a homer. It's unbelievable.
Comeback Player of the Year.
DeMar Hamlin.
DeMar Hamlin.
Even if he doesn't play, like
If he takes one snap,
if he takes
he's
one
good.
snap, he's winning the award. But based off of stats, it could be Jonathan Taylor, right? He was hurt last year, right?
Could be.
Yeah, so I'd say Jonathan Taylor.
How do you want to treat Calvin Ridley? Because he was suspended.
I treat him and Deshaun Watson the same. I think if you were
Okay.
suspended, I don't think you should deserve it. I need an injury at least. But yeah, I'm gonna say my two sleeper picks. I'm gonna say are Jonathan Taylor and Odell Beckham Jr.
Don't hate those.
Mike, comeback player of the year. I think we can all agree. We both said DeMar Hamlin, but
No, like that was probably the guy.
I would also say stat-wise, if Matt Stafford has a full season, throw him in there.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Coach of the year.
I like Odell.
Coach of the Year, so that's the coach of the team that most exceeds expectations. So Arthur Smith, Atlanta.
Who's the head coach in Carolina?
Frank Reich.
Frank Reich. Coach of the year. Actually, wait, no. I'm between two. Who's the head coach in Indianapolis?
Oh, Shane Steichen.
So it's either going to be Frank Reich or Shane Steichen. It's going to be one of those two. Oh, dude, wait. Actually, can I have a second pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
No.
Anthony Richardson.
Got
Got to fucking ride the
Let the
bandwagon.
record show that.
What's
pick
the
was not
Bengals
good.
guy's name?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. I was gonna call him Zach Britton.
See, can we
No,
all
that's a
say that
baseball
the
player.
See, that's why I
that
felt
the-
like it wasn't the right
that
thing.
if
I
it
was like,
went
oh,
based
this doesn't
purely
sound
on my records, it would be between Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, and Kevin Stefanski.
So that's why I think it ends up being the Bengals because of my record. But in all honesty, like if Dan Campbell does what I have him doing, dude, I don't know.
Yo,
Dan
listen,
Campbell
if
isn't
Frank
there.
Reich or Shane Steichen do what I have them doing, hands down.
No,
they're
right.
Coach of
No,
the year.
that's what I'm saying too.
Like
Like,
listen. If Shane Steichen or Frank Reich leads their teams to double-digit wins, they're winning Coach of the Year.
I agree.
So
That's how I feel. If somehow the Lions have 13 wins, Dan Campbell's Coach of the Year.
Do you want to do Super Bowl MVPs for who we have winning them?
Joey B.
Okay.
Mike?
49ers.
But no, I'm going to toss up between two. So
Offense and defense or both offense?
both offense.
Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel? Or Christian McCaffrey?
Debo and Kittle. I'm going to toss up.
So mine is the Eagles, so I think it's either going to be Jalen Hurts or Devontae Smith.
I'm going to pick Kittle as my MVP.
Oh, either or, dude. I think if
Yeah.
it's not Burrows, mine's gonna be Jamar.
Yeah, mine's because I think the quarterback's gonna win it, but if I didn't have to pick the quarterback, I would pick Devontae Smith. I think he's gonna go fucking nuts against this defense.
Okay.
Yeah, no, see, it's just so hard to pick awards because you don't want to pick the same people. Like, I think Jalen Carter is gonna win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but of course I'm gonna say Devon Witherspoon. Just like I think a quarterback is gonna win Offensive Rookie of the Year, like I think it's gonna be Bryce or AR. But
I mean, are we picking who we want to win the Super Bowl? Because Steelers over Cowboys all day.
Yo, listen, if we're picking who we want to win the Super Bowl, Pete Carroll's getting a fucking second ring, and Geno Smith's about to have a Super Bowl MVP, all right? If that's how
I'm
my
I'm not even picking my team.
hey, that's how my Madden franchise went, all right? Well, actually, if you want me to be super unrealistic, Anthony Richardson wins the Super Bowl as rookie. Him or Bryce Young. All right, actually, I want to get a top three. What quarterback would you most want to see win a Super Bowl this year? Your top three
Top three QBs I want to see win.
that you
Joey
want to see
B.
win, not that you'll think will win or whatever. That you want to see them win.
Joey B is my favorite. I want to see him win a fucking Super Bowl.
Josh Allen.
Nope. Not on my list. Maybe if he moves teams.
Got Big Josh.
Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Kyler Murray.
Wild last one to just throw out there.
All right, you ready for mine?
I guess so.
Number
Not
one.
really.
Number one.
It's kind of scared.
Geno
Lamar-
Smith.
No. Number one, Lamar Jackson. Number two, Justin Herbert. Number three, Caleb Williams. No, but seriously, Lamar, Justin Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence would be my three. Mike?
So I want Joey B to win.
Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, Malik Cunningham.
Too bad 2 of those guys
No,
aren't
I
even
don't
on the
want a
roster.
Super Bowl right now. No, I need to not win.
Bro, listen, if you told me right now I could trade in all the money in my bank account for a Seahawks Super Bowl win, I'm walking down to whatever fucking gambling place I can go to, and I'm putting all of my money on the Seahawks.
We
Like,
can do that.
We cannot do that because
Not guaranteed.
yeah, but if you
win.
could guarantee me, fuck yeah, I'm going down there and putting everything in my bank account on the Seahawks win the Super Bowl.
I want Joey B to win. I'd like to see Brock Purdy win. I think that'd be crazy.
Okay.
It's only the only 2.
I'll throw Gino in there. I want to see Gino.
Oh no, I'm definitely putting Gino in there, but I think I'd rather
Anything
see
that makes the Jets look bad, I'm okay with.
I'd rather see the other 3 win.
Maybe
more.
Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, but I don't really care about the Ravens winning with Lamar.
Dude, if Lamar wins,
I can't picture the Buffalo Bills winning anything.
If Lamar wins a Super Bowl, he's the second best quarterback in the NFL.
It depends on how they get there, but yeah, potentially.
If they get there, it's going to be because of Lamar Jackson.
That's what I want to believe, but
Because guess what? At that point, Lamar Jackson will have a Super Bowl ring and an MVP. The only other players that are like young that have that, the only other one is Patrick Mahomes. That's it. He would jump Joe Burrow. He would jump Josh Allen. Jump them all. He'd be number 2, right underneath Mahomes. His MVP season was kind of crazy. We're gonna have to talk about like craziest MVP seasons.
oh, there's some hidden gems out there.
Maybe, because I don't know how we're gonna do during the season. But maybe at some point we'll do
We might be able to find a good downtime.
maybe during like.
Hit your outro.
All right, that's been the Dumb Jocks podcast. Appreciate everyone for hanging out with us today. Football starts on Thursday. I hope everyone's excited. Go Hawks, go Steelers, fuck the Patriots. Welcome to fucking football
Actually,
season.
wait, John. Who are you rooting for in the MLB playoffs this year?
Mama huevo. Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves win the World Series. Simple. But you messed up my outro, so now I gotta do it again.